Yeah, eclipse sandwich with a waffle. Yeah, no, that's a different story.
Right then, Angie.
Okay.
Locked in. Everything is magic. Eclipse sandwich. Are you ready?
I am ready.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, you lovely people. So it's good to be back. I've been away for a couple of weeks. Not away, but away. And part of the reason I wasn't here last week was the crazy, crazy stuff happening. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're here on Telegram, hello. If you're listening to the recording, then hello. So hello all round, really. So yeah, I want to talk about Alexander Quinn calls it the eclipse corridor. I'm calling it the eclipse sandwich because that's definitely what it felt like. Did not feel like a corridor at all. It definitely felt like you were being squashed and squeezed, and it's like, so I've made multiple scribbly notes all over the place. It doesn't actually form anything coherent, but I'm going to try to make it be coherent, which kind of sums up really what that 2 weeks was all about. So this eclipse sandwich happened between the new sap rising moon and the full sap rising moon. So, number one, why do I call it the sap rising moon? Well, through the year, the full moon, or the moon phases, I should say, for me personally, take the full moon phase. That makes sense. Follows the energy of what I'm seeing outside. Yeah. Now, different people have different names for these full moon energies, and it would depend where on the planet you are. So, for me, because we're actually seeing the blackthorn is out at the moment, and oh my goodness, it's phenomenal. Every year it gets me. It's like wow. But this year, I think it's extra bloomy, one of a better word, and the smell is incredible. Um, we've already got lots of what have we got in the garden that's come up? Daffs. We've got crocuses. We've got what those things called hyacinths come up, and all over the place. Things are on the rise. Yeah, sap rising. So that's why for me. For us, it's the sap rising moon phase. Yeah. So that went from the new moon, which was on the tiny writing. Can I see what it says? Yes. The 19th of February. So from the 19th of February to the 3rd of March was this eclipse sandwich. Okay. So there's many layers to this energy that was going on for sure, right? And some of it wasn't all bad. I have to say, it wasn't all bad. But what I will say, it was very intense. Those few days, it felt like longer. Those few days were very intense, energetically, yeah. Um, but before I get into that, I just want to give you like a brief idea of what this sap rising moon phase kind of looks like. So we can see it out in nature, yeah. So we literally see the energy of growth, but it's more than it was before. So nature never stops. She doesn't stop. She might slow down a little bit, but even in November, you can already see the buds forming on the trees. You know, I speak about this a lot. You know, it's not dead. Yeah, it's just dormant. So it grows. It grows enough to. It's like it's a bit like how I do projects. So before I finish one project, I'm already making the plans for the next project, or laying out the bits for the next project. Yeah. So because my energy drops otherwise quite drastically if I don't have a focus. Yeah. That's just the way my blueprint rolls. Yeah. You might not be the same, but if you are, then that's a really good tool. Their nature's the same. Yeah. So it doesn't actually stop. It's a constant moving. Yeah. Which, yeah, you could say is the void space as well, because the void space is never still. It's always moving, although there is stillness in the movement, if that makes sense. So anyway, yes, this sap rising moon energy is very much the more growth. So it's more energy breaking through. Yeah. So I'll talk about that in a minute. We are also literally seeing what was underneath, in brackets, or, you know, fill in that space. Yeah. So whatever it was that was underneath is on the rise. So we're going to talk about that as well in this little snippet. So let's see, what do we have here on my scribbly notes? So I think from that, so for me, the dark moon, which comes before the new moon, there's usually goes dark moon, there's a liminal space in between, and then you begin to see the first little bit of light around the for the new moon. Yeah. So the dark moon, if I remember rightly, the dark moon was quite a heavy energy. It was quite a stuck. I think that's the word I want to use. It was a very stuck energy, which that was kind of a theme actually through this eclipse sandwich energy. So it was quite a heavy energy, I would say, from that new moon. Now, 19th. So yeah, I didn't do a show on the 19th or the 26th. So the 19th, that was the day we went up. We took one of our friends up to London. She has a medical procedure every 3 months. And that day, oh my goodness, it was freezing cold. We're up in London. Normally London's not that cold. That day it was freezing. Yeah, we weren't really dressed for really cold weather, and it ended up we spent, you know, about 3 days after that, like, recovering from the cold that we'd experienced. It was, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, even though we were walking, we were just freezing. Yeah. And, you know, if you're of a certain age and, you know, you're not really prepared for cold weather, and you get really cold and it gets in your bones, it can be really hard to then get warm again. And that's kind of what we were experiencing. And I suppose that's really when it started, this heaviness, I was getting a lot of stuff around the throat again. Although not as intense, I have to say. After I had that clearing in the dream, where I coughed up that yellow object, which was really strange, it's not been as intense. It's the remnant. Yeah, that's how I know. It's not the thing, it's the remnant of that thing that was, you know, kind of still lingering. But that's gone now, which is really interesting. And a lot of this energy that I'm going to talk about actually came to fruition. It was actually the day before the full moon, which I find quite interesting. So yeah, it was a very heavy energy, very like walking through treacle. That's the only way I can describe it. So it was a bit like last year was like that for me, because we were, we were finding our way with Ian's health stuff, and it was all new and like rabbits in the headlight type thing. um, so last year was like that. It was like walking through, even the most simple things became, like trying to climb Everest. And I'm sure you guys know this. When that energy comes back and pays a flying visit, you're like, oh no, please no. But thankfully, it didn't last that long, which tells you again, it was the remnant, that last bit of clearing. Yeah. And I think in one of my readings that I did about this period of time, water featured heavily in that reading. So, we took that on board, and we were, using the water element to clear those remnants that were left. It's the washing away. Yeah. So it's going to sound a bit weird, but I like watching carpet cleaning videos. There's one guy that I watch. I don't watch anyone else's. It's just his videos, mountain carpet cleaning or something it's called. He's an English guy. And what I find fascinating about the process, is there's always a lot of hosing down of the area, clearing. There's a constant clearing process as he's cleaning these carpets, these rugs. I find it fascinating. I don't know why. It's a bit weird, but anyway. So we were using that water element to really, clear those remnants. So I've talked about the heaviness, and it wasn't just me feeling this. Ian was going through a detox again, which kind of makes sense because of the medications he's on. But I'll talk about that a bit later on. Dreams. Oh my giddy aunt. The dreams I was having during that time were a bit bonkers, I have to say. They were a little bit bonkers. And insights like flying in. It was just quite intense, actually. Although I am still, I'm ongoing working with Queen Mab in relation to dreams, whether that's, she just walks through them or she's directing them. It doesn't really matter to me. It's not important. The outcome of that is the process of her doing that. So dreams were bonkers. I even had a dream about the dog that I grew up with, Ben, Black Labrador. It's a mad dream, but it ended up, we were walking off, we were going for a lovely long walk, and when I was telling Ian about it, Ian's very good at interpreting dreams. He said, he's walking the path with you now. I'm like, I was crying. More water, thank you. So that was really, really cool. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the other dreams, but I know they were bonkers. Very vivid. Quite amazing. And the other thing, I didn't write this down, but I've just remembered, like because I did a lot of at the beginning of that, between the new moon and probably for 3 or 4, maybe 5 days, I recorded a lot of videos for the channel, for me anyway. Like about 5, maybe 6 videos I recorded for the channel, and that's very unlike me. I mean, when it comes to YouTube, I'm not like, I must build my channel. I just do them if and when I want to. But it was like something was pushing me, kicking my ass down the road with these videos. I'm like, I don't even understand why I'm doing this. but I'm doing it. But what was really interesting about that process was the insights, before doing the videos and whilst doing the videos. And I would definitely say in our little tarot group that we have, I think that was spilling over into that as well. It was because I know we've had some amazing insights in that group on a Tuesday. It's been phenomenal. So yeah, there was definitely this intuitive expansion, which makes sense because it's water. Yeah, we're talking about the water elemental here, the moon sap rising, which is is kind of watery in its element. So what else was there going on? Body pains. Oh my giddy aunt. And this wasn't old stuff either. This was new stuff. So we understand about remnants. Yeah. So old injuries that maybe weren't quite healed properly, but we kind of moved on anyway. And then they come back and they go, oh, excuse me, you didn't do this bit. Okay. But this was new stuff, which was happening. So walking, I was finding walking because of and pain in my left ankle, which was sort of ridiculous. Which, funny enough, started again on that day up in London because it was so cold. Yeah, it's like it got in there and it started twisting things. That's how it felt. That might sound a bit weird, but that's how it felt. It was quite strange. Headaches. Oh my god. What can I say about the headaches? It's quite interesting actually, because they were never in the same place twice. And I would find so I sometimes I can release them and let them go, just by, it's going to sound strange, relaxing my head. Yeah. Other times, no, it's not going to go anywhere for anyone, so I have to put on my dark glasses. And sometimes sleep helps and they go away. Other times you wake up and it's still there, and it's like, for frail's sake. And I'm not, even toothache is preferable to a headache, and I don't like toothache either. Massive crown chakra stuff going on, fairies dancing on my head. Oh my goodness. And I'd say the throat chakra, the stuff around the throat, was definitely around the throat chakra. So there's something going on there as well. Yes, in the, I did write this down a little bit. So in the, and also when I was recording the readings for the YouTube channel, it was, there was always this, during this period, like these massive shifts, portals, shifts, all that kind of energy that was happening. So I think, I know from other people, there was definitely stuff going on. And when you think about it, I have got more stuff I'm going to talk about, but I just want to interject with, when you think of it, when you take a seed, yeah, and before that seed can grow into a sunflower or into a tree or into a whatever, the shell has to break. At some point, the shell that is containing the infinite intelligence that is the seed, yeah, that shell has to break. And then when it comes up, it's like the shell is stuck on top of the seedling. And I always find that fascinating. It's like this little hat. And that's kind of what it was feeling like. It was feeling like, so are we the seed? Are we the seedling, or are we the hat? The little hat bit that pokes up out of the earth, or are we all of it? So that's kind of that kind of, it's almost like a chaos. Yeah. But as we know, Discordia, who we work with, she brings order from chaos. Same as Kali, she is the same. She brings that creative force out of the chaos, which I find, yeah. And Queen Mab as well, because she is the primal force of nature. So what else was there? Well, we had so one of our yoga students, now we stopped doing yoga classes back in 2015. So that's what, 11 years ago now. Mainly because we lost our venue. We found it very hard to find another venue. People don't, around here, it's quite dense. It's what I would say. And the kind of yoga we taught, which was more about lifestyle than gym yoga, I refused to do gym yoga. It's like, I'm not teaching that. We're teaching a way of life, not a physical exercise, and people didn't want that. They wanted gym yoga. And I wasn't going to compromise. Stubbornness coming through there. So we decided to knock it on the head. And we were doing workshops and stuff, but we weren't doing, because we were doing probably 3 or 4 classes a week. And it just got, and I think the other thing, people love the old venue and they didn't like the new one. So, it was kind of like come to a natural conclusion, really. So one of the ladies that used to come regularly, and she used to bring people to the class and everything, and we went up to the International Yoga Day with her and her partner, and amazing, lovely lady. She WhatsApped me. That was a couple of weeks ago. Literally, it was during that first bit of the corridor sandwich. And she's like, I wasn't sure if it was you or not. She sent me on WhatsApp in another group. And she's like, I wasn't sure if it was you or not, but oh my God, I'm so pleased I found you. Because she's off of Facebook and all that stuff. She's knows what's going on. So, this person that we hadn't seen since we seen them in the street in 2020. And we hadn't seen them since I think 2021. We saw them again in the street to talk to, but we hadn't, had a conversation with them for a very long time. And so she popped round. We hadn't seen her for many years. It was just so random. So we were having people visit as well during that time, which I found, it's like, it's the stuff, the old stuff coming up. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. Very, very strange. There was also, during that time, there was the 6 planets. That was on the 28th of February. There's 6 planets that lined up, and I think I did a reading on that as well on one of my channels. Now that was interesting. And again, if I remember rightly, big things were happening. And these things don't have to be humongous. They can be subtle but profound. They don't have to be like, oh my God, the government's fallen, yay. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be subtle things, because these subtle things are what make those big things happen. For example, one of the things we've been observing on our local marshes is, and we got a little bit more information about it today, so we're actually going to do a video about this. It'll probably be like a mini documentary, probably about an hour long, knowing us wafflers, about the marshes and the plans they have to make it a nature reserve. And it is just, and so we're watching that unfold as well, which has been little tiny changes that have now brought about this massive, humongous change. because they built on most of it. It's like they didn't care about it, 10 years ago when they were building on it, but now all of a sudden they're going, oh no. It makes me howl. It really does. It's hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, so getting closer to the full moon. There were some very strange things going on, actually, I have to say. Old stuff. So old stuff around family was coming up again. I hope for the last time, because I don't like it when that stuff comes up. And it was like, and again, I don't know if you guys have been experiencing this. Ian said to me when we were talking about it today, because he said, what's your show about today? And I was kind of explaining, but I don't think I was explaining it very well. But I was saying about, because we both kind of experienced that very heavy energy and that just not feeling, it's like we're not in our bodies properly. It was really strange. And it was like when I looked at myself in the mirror, it's like I didn't even look like me. I looked like someone else. I don't want to say something else because that might freak people out. But definitely, it wasn't me in that mirror. It's really weird. And Ian said, he said, you looked, over those few days, you looked so tired. Like I'd aged 20 years, like in a matter of days. It was really, really weird. And also Ian has stopped drawing. So he's an artist. So he's always drawing stuff, writing things. He completely stopped all of that because he wasn't, what would be the word? He was out of kilter, out of alignment, you could say. That's kind of what it felt like. It really is what it felt like. But what I would say is as we moved closer to the full moon, which was on Tuesday, that started to lift, definitely. Pardon me. So the full moon was on Tuesday, and we saw the amazingness of the eclipse, that lunar eclipse. Because we're actually in a bit of a dip where we live, so we could see through the trees to the east. We could see through the trees. We could see the massive dark orange moon, which was amazing. But so it was the day before. Yeah, it was the day before. This is when the energy started to move. Was on the Monday. I still wasn't sure if it had actually moved, shifted completely. I mean, the energy, because when I woke up, I'm like, I still feel a bit weird, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna do the tarot show. But then I was just, looking out the window, watching all the animals eat the food I put out, and I don't know, something just flipped. Something flipped, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it has gone. That energy has, gone down the road. But what was really cool is on let me just get my days right. Thursday, so yes, it was the day before the full moon, and we went to do our little walk up to the bridge. It's probably it's probably not even 2 miles, which was all we could manage during this eclipse sandwich, up to the bridge and back, and especially for me with my wonky foot, my wonky ankle, and Ian with his detox going on. So on this particular day, so it was the Monday, day before the full moon, That day was warm. That was a warm day. I remember because Ian had his big coat on. And we got to the bridge where we normally turn around and come back. And because it was such a lovely day, we're like, well, should we go a bit further? Okay, let's go a bit further. So I was just checking with Ian, is he all right? And so we went a bit further and we just kept going a little bit further, until we're like, so you get to the point where if you turn back, it's the same distance as if you carry on going. So it's like it's a round. We can do like a there and back, or we can do a round robin. Yeah. So we did that whole Marshes on Monday, and Ian was roasting in his big thick woolen coat. Oh dear. And the thing is, it's just as heavy to carry it as it is to wear it. So and on that day, twice, I saw. So one was near the beginning of the Marshes, and the other one was right up by the River Thames. So I looked up, and I'm like, "What is that up in the sky?" Yeah, and it was like a rectangle shape. Yeah, wasn't a plane. Was nothing that made a noise. It was silent, and it was just moving. Sometimes you look at things, you're like, "Well, that could be a bird," because Ian said, "Well, that could be a seagull." I'm like, I don't think it is, And as I'm looking at it, disappeared, just gone. And it's like I'm looking around frantically, is it gone somewhere else in the sky? No, completely gone. And then we get up to the barrier, the the Dartford Creek barrier, and again see something in the sky. It was a slightly different shape this time. I'm like, is that a bird? No, it's not a bird. It's not moving like a bird. It wasn't moving like anything. It wasn't a drone. We've seen drones over there before. They're very bloody noisy and they're intrusive as well. And this was too high up to be a drone. Oh, what is that? I'm like, yeah, what is that up there? And he didn't have his spyglass, so So again, I'm looking at it, keeping my eye on it, and it goes boom, gone. I said, he said, well, it's obviously your day to see things today, isn't it? And what I love about that is on that same day, Alexander Quinn posted about the real disclosure and about seeing things. I'm like, okay, like visitations from things. So I thought that was quite interesting. So that was the day before that full moon. On the full moon, we did the tarot. And again, amazing cards that were coming out. And I'm always blown away by the cards when they are guiding you, because they are an extension of you. Don't forget that. Yeah. It's just, I just love it. Really, really cool. So that was on the Monday. The Tuesday, I realised that energy had passed. Yeah. Because we couldn't have walked the whole Marshes like the week before that. Even the thought of it would have made me collapse in a heap. Do you know when you get that? So we've been this week, in fact, these past 2 days, we've been talking about going camping, which we haven't done since 2023. That was the last time we went camping because of Ian's health and everything, and with the dog not being well. So even the thought of talking about camping before just made me go, oh no, I can't do that. But we've actually been talking about it. We've actually been talking about how we can do it, because Ian can't carry heavy rucksacks anymore on his back after his surgery. So it's like, okay, so we're finding a way how to do it, because and this is the thing, yeah. This is the really exciting thing. So once all that old stuff has come up, so the little seed bit, the hat on the top of the head, once that is broken open and has come up out of the ground, and that was what was underneath, and this is what's coming up, yeah. And that little bit of the little seed hat, let's call it that, yeah, falls off and the plant grows bigger, yeah. That's the new, yeah. Do I have, hang on, well, there's a paper everywhere. So the next, okay, so the next moon phase will be the budding trees moon phase, which makes sense, doesn't it? Makes sense. That's what I like. It's logical. It makes sense. So yeah, that we've been talking about doing what we used to do, the camping, but in a different way, or even doing the walking. So walking the marshes. So we've walked the marshes 3 times this week. The whole marshes. It's like that has not happened. I don't even think we did that last year when we were building up Ian's the confidence and the strength to walk, further than just up the road and back. Yeah, we couldn't have done that, but we're doing it in a different way to how we used to do it. Yeah, and I couldn't even tell you what the difference is, but it feels different. I think that's probably because when we were walking the marshes every day, that was in 2020, and it was a big up yours to anyone and anything that was telling us that we mustn't go outside. So yeah, so it definitely feels different this time because it's new, yeah. And what we've also realized is when it comes to camping, so when we used to go camping, yeah, we'd have the kids and we'd have the dog and we'd have loads of stuff that we had to ferry, because we'd carry all of our kit. We did have a car for a little while, but then Ian gave up the car. So we would lug our kit. We'd use trains and buses, but we would be carrying our kit, yeah. And when you got moody kids, that's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy, especially when you've got a dog who won't be quiet. Smith was always very vocal. And what we realised today is, we can do this however we want to, because we don't have those things to worry about anymore. And something Ian said was like, yeah, I love that. He said, we can do camping like teenagers. I'm like, I like that. I like that a lot. So we don't have to carry loads of kit. We don't. Yeah. We can, we can go ultralight if we want to. Why not? So it's really interesting how in this energy of the old remnants coming up to be washed away, and yes, there were lots of tears during that during that 2 weeks as well. Oh my goodness. So there's been a lot of washing away of the old stuff, yeah, to make way. And I don't know, everyone talks about this, but I find it really interesting to tie it in with this natural calendar, yeah, as we're coming up to the equinox, Ostara. It's just really fascinating how it meshes together, yeah. So there's new stuff that's coming up through many different things. And the last thing I'm going to say before I open it up. So yesterday, we one of the deities that we work with is Rhiannon, who is the horse goddess. And it's really interesting. So normally she's associated with the full moon, yeah. But I really didn't want to do a ritual on top of, pardon me, on top of doing the tarot show. And it's that I like to not put myself under pressure because I freak out. A little bit pressure is okay, but that would be too much. So I thought, right, okay, so we'll do it the following day because we're still in the energy of that full moon. Yeah. So there's me setting up the altar yesterday morning, and it was a little bit misty outside, a little bit. Yeah. As we're going through the day, it's getting more and more misty. And we decided we'd walk the whole marshes yesterday as well. And the mist, it was rolling in. We could see it. So normally, if you're walking in fog or mist, yeah, there's usually a fixed distance of how much you can see, if that makes sense. Yeah, that wasn't happening. So it's like the further we walked, the more the mist was coming in. And I said to Ian, because Rhiannon is the queen of the Fae, yeah, so she walks in those very liminal spaces, which is what mist and fog is. It's the liminal space. The water was really high as well. It's very close to spring tide, because I wouldn't say the marshes were flooded. We've seen it when it is flooded, and it is so amazing. It's just incredible. But it was pretty close to being completely flooded, this marshland. Yeah, we saw about 30 crows, a proper murder of crows. But it was just amazed me that the day before, on the actual full moon, there was no mist. But on the day when we're doing the Rhiannon ritual, so we did the ritual when we got back from our walk, it's like there's mist. And mist that just kept rolling in. And all night, the mist would roll in, and then it would go, and then it would roll in. So we were watching it as it rolled in and went out. It's really, really interesting. And I love it. I love this work. I love this journey. It's so very cool. So I'm going to stop with the waffles, and I'm going to say, if there's anyone that wants to share anything they've been kind of experiencing this past 2 weeks, yeah, off you go.
I've got a burning question for you, Angie.
Go on then.
What was your minimal equipment for camping, and how did you transport it? Was you the pack horse that carried everything, or did you have a truck or something?
So we would each carry a 65-litre rucksack with our own personal stuff in it, and I was a bit, I like spreadsheets, right? So I set up a spreadsheet where I knew the weights of all the bits of kit. So I would, aside from my own personal stuff like clothes and things like that, I would then spread out the rest of the kit between everyone's rucksack. So we were all carrying no more than 15 kilos. It was usually about 12 kilos each. And then we would, all the big stuff, we used to have a truck that we would tow. So yeah, it was a proper, what would you call that? What's the word I'm looking for? Proper adventure.
Oh, great.
That's all right. Yeah, so we'd each carry about 12 kilos, which, isn't too bad.
Angie, great stuff. I love the fact you're using the nature calendar.
Yes.
As well, so much. Yeah, you can really see things falling into place, right?
Absolutely. And, it's only March. So I was saying to Ian the other day, I am fascinated to see how this is going to unfold. It's really, really cool.
Nice one. Yeah, spread the word, because the more we can all get in sync with that, the better everything, all the vibes are going to be,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to a start. The Aries equinox. I gotta say, while we've been in this corridor or sandwich or whatever you want to call it. For me, it's been a bit like a kind of like a wormhole. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yep.
So, you know, where a wormhole, you can go from here to the other side of the galaxy in a split second kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of felt like, and it reminded me of that. Have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. But I don't know if you know, there's this bit where he goes into the you know, the monolith thing, because they find a monolith on Earth, right? And then they do the trip to Jupiter with Hal. You know, what are you doing, Dave?
Yeah, freaky.
Yeah, and then they find another monolith there in orbit around Jupiter. Anyway, so he goes through that, and it's like he goes into a wormhole, and it's all like this psychedelic tube, like lights, and you know all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's kind of felt like a slow version of that for me.
Okay.
Between the new moon and the full moon. Yesterday, day before. Yesterday, wasn't it?
Tuesday. Before. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's felt like it's a bit like, hard to explain, but it's kind of like two. You know those things you walk on at the airport, like a moving pavement thing, so you go faster?
Yeah.
It feels like two of those, but going at different speeds. And one's going forward, and the other one's bringing things back from the future, kind of thing.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's like the energy's like moving you along faster than you would go without the energy, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And then while you're going forward faster than you would normally, there's stuff on the other pavement going the other way, and you can sort of grab it and reach out and grab it. But it's kind of like things are manifesting much quicker, because you're thinking, for example, today I booked a dentist appointment, and I woke up thinking, I don't really want to go to that. You know, I've just been to Britain, I've come back, I've been to hospital for a checkup, come back, I just had a nice slob out day yesterday, and I fancy another one today, and I thought, I wish I hadn't booked that appointment. You know, I got on the computer, you need to move your dental appointment from today to Monday. I was like, thank you, guys. Yeah, that was quick.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of one example, but so many with my flights and my granddaughter and my boys and lots. But I don't want to hog too much of the space. But basically, it feels like the eclipse energy is like whisking me along faster and bringing me things into manifestation, like from the future, like quicker. That's all I can describe it as.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And I did look back to the new moon in Virgo. We had two this year we had two new moons in Virgo, right? So you can check both of those. But yeah, I mean, one of them, because it's Virgo, I planted a seed about, because Virgo goes with the sixth house, and it's about work and service and health, individual health. And I planted a seed about my own health. And that's certainly, I mean, I can't believe how good my health is now. It's like better than ever. And I've just had checkups and stuff, and they're all off the charts, really good. So that seed has certainly grown nicely, and it's blossoming into a big fruity tree.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Andy, I had a nice day, my birthday on the 27th, but the 28th, I don't want to talk about it. It was so bad, right? So then I went from a real high to the lowest. You can imagine how low it could be. I don't want to tell about it. But the very next day, I became an admin someone made me an admin because of the good work I've been doing, right? So was a really topsy-turvy few days there, and but now today during this call, my brother called me. He says, "Well, I used to smoke. I smoke, and then I stopped smoking, me one way or the other." But he says, "I got a carton of smokes." I said, "Oh, okay. Bring me like a Guinness on the way." He's coming over for a visit. That should be okay. Be nice to see him again. I don't see him a lot, but because we're on different paths, you know.
Mm.
But I'll share a beer with him.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely think that's certainly what we were experiencing was those. It was like the chaos before it all settles down, you know. Whoa, what's going on here? Like proper roller coaster again, definitely. But how it's actually worked out, how it's settled is, I don't know, is quite exciting. You know, we're talking about going camping. We're also talking about how we're moving forward with Ian's health, which is really cool. So I mean, it's the path is open again, definitely.
Yeah, the Virgo moons are great to do health things with, of course. Yeah, and organising and planning. I mean, I love a good spreadsheet too, Angie. I gotta say, you know, you were.
Yeah,
excited there talking about spreadsheets.
Yeah, I used to get the piss taken out of me about my love of spreadsheets, but you know, and I used to type them into databases and things like that when I don't do that now. But yeah, it was so fascinating.
Cool.
Does anyone else have anything they want to share? It's all gone quiet. Okay, folks. Well, I'm going to pull a couple of cards just to end the. Unless anyone wants me to pull them a card.
Yeah, go on, Angie. Pull me a card.
Okie dokie.
Pull me a card for my brother visit. That could be a challenging one.
And if you don't mind, if you could pull me a card for tomorrow's knowledge nugget scheduled one.
Okay. So that's
Angie,
Rachel.
Could you pull a card for me and Merlin, please?
Yeah. So we've got Rachel, Kevin, Litmus, and Val. Anyone else?
You've got enough there to be going with.
I'll put one for you as well, Andy. There we go. Right. What have we got? So, Rachel, we have. Okay. This is the card, Bumpy Ride. But what I will say about this card is it's that letting go. Yeah. It's a very nice card. It's quite beautiful. But it's definitely around, if you read it, you know, that resistance that makes the ride bumpy. And I think a few of us have definitely been feeling that. All that is resistance. Yeah. So I like that.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. I think one of the things we can definitely do is laugh. We've been laughing a lot, actually. I think that's all you can do when it gets laugh. Be silly and laugh. Right, Kevin, this is your one. Okay, visualization. Okay. It says, by practicing visualization daily, you are calling forward your desire, and it will soon be a tangible experience in your current reality. So, Kevin, what I would say is if you just put it out there that you want that experience with your brother, to be not as challenging as it might have been once upon a time, because people change and they evolve. You know, that could help with that. Litmus, you've got the card is called the blame game, but underneath it says it's time to take ownership of the life you're creating, which is really cool because that's what you were describing. That is pretty cool. That is really cool.
I'm grasping it with both hands and running with that ball.
There you go. So when we do that, we immediately stop blaming circumstances or people, places, things, experiences for what we've created, because you know,
absolutely,
it's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, I've just had experience of that with my trip back to Britain, seeing my boys and stuff. So yeah, that's bang on.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll envision the best result for today, and once in a while is okay.
Cool.
Yeah, just to say for the nugget, that's good, I think, as well.
Yeah.
The blame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take ownership, was it? And what did it say again?
It says it's time to take ownership of the life you are creating.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, my life is my knowledge nuggets now.
And it's number 27, which is 9.
Way equals 9. Thank you very much. I'll take that happily.
Okay, Val, you've got share your gifts. Get ready to see movement where you choose to share your gifts.
Oh, right. Thank you.
There you go. That's the card. It's a beautiful card. There's a lot of light. A lot of light in that card.
Have you posted it on the...
On Holistic, yeah.
On
Holistic Radio.
Found it, yeah. Thank you. Well, yeah, I've just been reminded today of the reset clearing that I know a little bit about. And Merlin, my friend did a reset clearing on Merlin, and it's got him eating again. So he's given me some ideas of what I can carry on treating, energetically treating him with. So
that's very cool. Yeah. I like that. Oh, what's going on here? Here we go. Wonky wonkies. Okay, let's go out. Go back in. I mean, offline. That's stupid. Honestly, stupid. How can I be offline? Get rid of that.
Buoy in the distance.
Hello. Oh dear. Right. Okay. Andy.
Sorry, dude. Did you say an owl?
Yeah, there's a twitty in the owls round here, and it's raining as well. So I've got this dark. It's now dark as well. There's no sun, so I can hear the tippy tappy raindrops hitting the lean-to wooden roof, and then in the distance the twitty.
But if you get a lot round there, how will you know which one it is? But, sorry, seriously. Apart from having a butterfly as a spirit guide for my soul reintegration, I did an online thing for a spirit animal the other day, and guess what came out? An owl.
Cool.
That's
Now,
my buddies checking in on you. Right. Thank you.
Awesome.
look at the card I just posted for you, Andy.
Oh, is that one for me?
Boon.
Heaven is rushing in and showering you with blessings. Open your heart to receive.
What?
It's 68.
So what have you just been talking about? You're sitting there listening to the rain and the house.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't it amazing?
Beautiful.
It's amazing. I love it.
And I'm going to ask you to pull me a card, please, honey.
Yep. Let me grab
Thank you.
a card for you, Carly. Oh, okay. You have the card. It says perfectionist. Keep your standards high and honorable, but let go of the need to be perfect. Wow.
Ooh.
There we go.
I know that is.
I love that. That's really cool.
I just want to say, when Kevin mentioned his thing and his little celebration, I've got like a parting in my curtains and a star. I just see it go boom the minute that he said that. So I just wanted to share.
Wow. Oh, it's amazing.
Will that be difficult to practice, Carly? Now follow the reading.
I'm just going to make noises. I think that's what's happening.
Well, everything is magic.
Absolutely. Sure is. Anyone have, I think we've done everyone's cards. Does anyone have anything they want to add before we sign off?
Much love and gratitude, Angie, for tonight and for the cards.
That's all right.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to you all, and thanks for putting up with me again.
It's a pleasure, Kevin.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you, Angie. Just love and light and peace and love and freedom and life, prosperity and health and all that good shit.
All that good stuff. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. It's been lovely. So yeah, what more can I say about this eclipse sandwich apart from it's been quite illuminating, I would say, and that we've come out the other side and we've got new things coming in is quite exciting. So yeah, I love it.